What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in to our new channel, Think Tech. We'll be bringing you reviews, unboxings, impression videos on some of the tech that you guys use daily. Today we're going to be talking about the iPhone 11, which I've had for about 30 days. So I figured I'd just make a video letting you guys know what I like, what I don't like about the phone, and comparing it to my old phone, the XR. On the left hand we have the 11, and we have the XR on the right. Now let's talk about the XR for a little bit. The XR is a 6.1 inch screen display. The XR comes in multiple capacities, 64 gig and 128. The height is 5.94. The width is 2.98, and the thickness is 0.33. 625 nits of brightness, 812 bionic chip, 12 megapixel back camera, 4K video. The battery is about 2,942 milliamp hours, which was a great battery. That was one of my favorite features on this phone. The battery lasts me all day without a problem. So yeah, I really like this phone. This phone was my favorite iPhone. Before this, I had the iPhone 8, and the iPhone 8 battery was not as good as this one in my opinion. Alright, and if we move on to the 11, the physically is not too many differences. Same screen, minor changes with the height and width and thickness. 625 nits, 813 bionic chip instead of 812. Dual camera on the back, of course, the wide camera, ultra wide camera they're adding in there, 4K video recording, 24, 30, or 60 FPS. And the battery on this one is 3,110 milliamp battery hours, which is, they added on about an hour, which on paper doesn't seem like a lot, but it actually is. In the day-to-day use, you really notice that extra hour. But major differences between the iPhone 11 and the XR, there aren't too many, other than the 813 chip, so we get some faster performance. Of course, the dual camera, which gives you the ultra wide. Like I said before, the extra hour battery. But other than that, there isn't too many huge differences. They have some apps that they've redone for the 11, but it's all minor changes, nothing too huge. I haven't really had any complaints on the iPhone 11. I've been using it for 30 days now, and it's been doing me fine, actually. If not, of course, better than the XR, but no complaints at all. I haven't had any complaints with it. No glitches, nothing of the sort. So I'm going to tell you guys some of my favorite features that I've used, that I've really used very often, that I like so much. Now, let's get started. One of my favorite features we have here is the swipe keyboard. This is definitely very useful, very convenient, save you a couple seconds while you're sending out that message, and you can get back to what you're doing very quickly. Another one of my favorite features that I use very often, it doesn't seem like to be a crowd favorite, but I use it very often, the haptic touch. If we come into the control center here, we can use haptic touch to, let's say, find a new Wi-Fi network. So if you tap and hold, you'll get all the options here. We're going to tap and hold again on the Wi-Fi, and it'll bring you directly to a list of available Wi-Fis that you can connect to. Instead of going all the way into settings and then going into Wi-Fi, then finding the Wi-Fi, this is a much quicker way to get that done using haptic touch. Haptic touch, you can also do that with multiple applications. Not all of them. Some of them don't have haptic touch options, but most of them do. So if you go into messages, tap and hold, you have the new message shortcut here that you can just tap on directly to a new message instead of going into messages, then tapping compose new message. So that's pretty quick and pretty useful in my opinion. Also, we have dark mode. Dark mode isn't specifically only for iPhone 11, but it still definitely makes the top list of features that I like and I use daily. So on this phone, I have it set to where when the sun goes down, it'll turn to night mode, and when the sun comes up, it'll turn to day mode automatically without me having to configure anything. But if I wanted to, in the middle of the day, turn on night mode, I could just swipe down on the control center here, tap and hold on the brightness, and you'll get 3 options down here: night shift, true tone, and our favorite, dark mode. So if we tap on dark mode, it'll bring us right to it. And another cool thing is that when they implemented the night mode or the dark mode, they have added wallpapers to reflect that. So if you look at the wallpaper, it changed as well. It got a lot darker, and I think that's pretty cool. A nice little touch done by Apple. If we switch back to light mode, you can see the difference. You see how it's much brighter. The background is white now instead of black. I like this feature a lot, and I use it very often. Another thing that I like about the iPhone 11 is that normally on the back you would have writing here that says iPhone 11 or iPhone. No, it wouldn't say iPhone 11. It would just say iPhone. So you'd have some writing down here. And with the iPhone 11, you get none of that. They minimalized the back to where it's nothing but iPhone, and you get the logo, of course. In a perfect world, I would like the logo not to be there, but you know, Apple has to get the marketing out. But yeah, so it's pretty clean. It's pretty clean back here. No extra writing, no extra fluff, just iPhone. I really like that about it. It makes it very, very elegant, very classy. All right. Got words on the back of your phone? Not over here. We don't do that over here. Okay, and another feature, of course, definitely one of my favorites, is the ultra wide camera. If we tap right here, boom. See how far back it goes, and we tap it again, it brings it back to a normal lens. And actually, if you tap and hold, it gives you the wheel, so you can zoom all the way in. Wow, look at that zoom in. That zoom is crazy. And we can zoom all the way out to see everything. And if you want to set it back to normal, you just tap it again, and then we're back at normal here. Definitely one of my favorite camera features. I'm going to talk a little bit more about camera in a second. I mentioned battery life before, but battery life is definitely another feature that's big with me because I need my phone to last me all day, and it was already doing that with the XR, so the 11 just added an extra hour onto that, which on paper it doesn't seem like a lot, but on a day-to-day use, that works perfectly. That adds just the right amount of extra time that I need, you know. So now, instead of when I get off work and I get home, my phone being on 20%, I'll get home and it'll be on 30 or 35% after a charge at night. So in the morning, I'll take my charger off, it'll be on 95, work about 8 hours, get home, I'm still at 30. That is amazing. And I use my phone throughout the day pretty often. I do keep low power mode on though, so that may also be a factor. Okay, now let's go ahead and get back into the camera. So the camera, if we compare the two, so let's look at the camera on both of these here. So if you look at the camera, you can notice that the UI is a bit different between the 11 and the XR. If you look down here to switch the camera from front or back, it's like a camera shape, and on this, the 11 is a circle shape. The shutter button, it's a bit thinner. It got a bit thinner, a little bit of change there. If you look at the flash is different as well. Live is on this side, live is in the middle. So they changed a bunch of things here, and I think it looks a lot better in this view. I think it looks a lot better. And also, if we look at how to zoom, let's see if I can do this with one hand here, but you guys still seeing it. So to zoom here, we have to pinch with the zoom, and then we get this bar down here which will allow us to go back and forth, whereas with the 11 we could just tap, hold, and use the wheel to kind of zoom in and zoom out, which I prefer the wheel. That's a lot cooler to me. I think it's a lot cooler, a lot more convenient instead of having to do this and then pulling this up. So Apple is all about convenience and coming up with things that we wonder why wasn't it on the original operating system, because it's that obvious now that they came up with it. Like, yeah, it should have been that way the entire time. Also, to video and take burst shots, they changed that as well. So if we want to take a video on the 11, you just tap and hold. Whereas on the XR, we'd have to switch to video and then tap, which is so much cooler. And then one of those features again where it's like, why wasn't this a thing before? And to take burst shots is also different. If you look here, tap and hold, burst shot. On the 11, tap, swipe till, tap and hold when I need to tap and swipe. Tap and swipe to the left. I just took 40 burst shots. Really quick, really easy. Simple changes they made to the camera UI that make the camera app so much better, and something I'll use a lot more often now that we have those features enabled. Alright, thank you for watching, guys. If you like what you see, go ahead and like and subscribe. Go ahead and leave a comment if you have any suggestions on any other technology that you would like to see reviewed or unboxed on our channel. And I'll catch you guys next time.